Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it's that time again. Time for another brilliant lecture here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College and lovely, bustling, beautiful, hot, overcrowded downtown Agency Village, South Dakota. And without any further ado, here comes the man himself, the brilliant Professor Victor Singingo! Yay! Ha! Can't even pronounce my own name right. All right. Well, are you guys ready for another bookgasm? Yeah, I got books. All right, books. I am always ordering books in the mail, and I drive Professor Lee nuts because he said, "Stop ordering books." But you know, this is one of the things you get stuck with a Indian book nerd. Then you get lots of Indian books. So where's my letter opener? I had it in my hand and I lost it. And there's that dang fly. Made me knock over my coffee already. By the way, you may or may not know that I also teach trucking classes. So if I'm not bleeding diesel, I'm bleeding coffee. Or drinking, whatever. I live off diesel and coffee. Diesel fumes and coffee. Oh, maybe the fly's gonna stay down there and drink the coffee I spilled all over the floor. Well, let me quit wasting time and look for the scissors. I had them in my hands and I think I dropped them when I was chasing that fly. Here we go. It's time. By the way, as you are new to this class and new to your crazy professor, this is one of my traditions. I will open up what they call unboxing video. What is it? Oh, goody, goody gumdrops. I have my own. This is a Dakota Hymnal. Wakang Chekie, I think is what it says. And my Dakota's not very good, but I'm learning. This is a Dakota Hymnal, English Dakota hymns. Ooh, the Christian year. Lo, he comes with clouds descending. Shi cha pi kini pikta e to hong wind ong te ping chong or kong. I don't know. Let me see. Gong. Must be gong. Q. I think that's a ga sound. Gong. Interesting. Oh, look at even. Oh, come, Emmanuel. It says, oh, yeah, oh, Emmanuel. Ka Israel ki yeah. Never mind, I could quit. But this is a book I've been hankering to get for years and years and years, and I finally got it. Yay! What else do I have? What is this? Victor Singing Eagle is from Anchorage, Alaska? Oh, goody, goody, gumdrop. What is it? Give me! Oh, man, they really covered this book up. Oh, give me some more. With you. Oh, can't wait. Give me! Open up! Birth from Scorched Hearts compiled and edited by MariJo Moore. Women respond to war. I believe this is indigenous women. Yes, it is. She is Cherokee. Indigenous women respond to war. So if I remember right, I ordered this book on a whim, wanting, yes, there's Linda Hogan in here. There's, wow, look at that. Byron Ballard. MariJo Moore is in here. Catherine Stripling Bear. I don't know what that is. Oh, there's a Helen Epstein in here. Laura Tohe, who is, I talked to her on the phone a couple of times, and she's on my Facebook. She is a Navajo. Her father was a code talker. But we'll get into that later. Anyway, let's look at Laura Tohi, since she's one of my mini hobby horses, page 166. I'm going to read for you a little bit. Now, keep in mind that we often get annoyed when professors read to their students. Because what happens is we get these professors who just stand behind a podium and drone on and on and on, and just everybody falls asleep and drools all over their clothes. But no, we're going to look at this, and we're going to look in a more interesting way. This is called Dodge Charger. By the way, I have a 1974 Dodge Charger, two 1974 Dodge Chargers, and one 1973 Dodge Charger, but we don't need to talk about that right now. We're supposed to be talking about her story. In 1993, my son and I visited the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. My 11-year-old son made the astute observation that even one name was too many for this memorial. As we looked at the names of the veterans, I couldn't help but think that my brother's name should have also appeared on the marble wall. He, too, had been a casualty of war overseas, at home, and to himself. For Elred, Laureen, Julian, and Larissa. About 10 years after my brother returned from Vietnam, he bounced around from veterans hospitals to veterans homes. One summer, I visited him at the veterans home in Home Lake, Colorado, and invited him to have lunch in Monte Vista. As we ate, the people in the local diner eyed us over their coffee and lunch. The tension in the room recalled memories of the attitudes towards Indians and border towns near the Diné Navajo reservation where we grew up. We grew up playing marbles, army, cowboys, and Indians. Yes, we wanted to be the cowboys because they always won. And for breakfast, he made my brothers and me whatever color of pancakes we wanted, with red, green, blue, and yellow food coloring. "What color of pancakes do you want?" he'd ask, and spill a few drops of dye into the batter, and then place a red or green stack of pancakes before us, like he was some sort of short order cook in a truck stop diner. Though we fought every day, sometimes with punches and hair pulling, he was the only one of my 4 brothers who offered to play with my toy kitchen and me, and later as teens he asked me to dance to rescue me from wallflowerhood at one of the summer dances at the Gallup Armory. We danced furiously in a wide berth, bumping into couples in our wake. One spring, about a year before he ended up at the veterans home, a sheep herder found him near the res in the Arizona desert, where he had suffered a seizure during one of his binges. My brother was not a violent man, yet the violence that he lived through in Vietnam, became internalized. From the veterans home, he wrote letters to me in elegant calligraphy, the curlicues carefully rolled like baling wire unraveling. He wrote that he was the youngest veteran there, that he wanted to get back together with his first wife and raise their children who longed to know him, to call him Shitse or Shitse, Daddy. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Shitse, Daddy. That he wanted to get his life on track one day at a time and go to law school. I hoped and wanted this and more for him. Woo! I'm going to stop it right there because I love to lead you guys up to the water, put a little salt in your oats, and hopefully you will drink. The story is by Laura Tohi. It is called Dodge Charger. You might be able to find it on the internet too. So that's another book. It's time for some more Singing Eagle Buckgasm. Yay! All right, what is this? open it up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yay! UPSPS bound printed matter. Gimme! Oh. Oops, that's not working. Gimme! There we go. This is it looks like an Ojibwe art. Oh, by the way, I mentioned this the other day. I said the Ojibwe people are the older brothers of the Ottawa and Potawatomi tribes. We all speak mutually intelligible languages, but you know, there's a whole bunch of Ojibways everywhere, and they kind of harassed the Lakota, the Oceti-Sakowin. But like I said before, you guys outnumbered us Potawatomi. We're the youngest brother. You guys outnumbered us like 10-1. So what could we do? We were frenemies. We weren't like mortal enemies as were the Chippewa. All right, stop talking. That looks like Chippewa art to me. Look at the cool butterfly and the two girls' faces. That's neat. The Firekeeper's Daughter. Keep the secret, live the lie, earn your truth by Angeline Bouley. Who is Angeline Bouley? I don't remember this author. Angeline Bouley is an enrolled member of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians. I told you. She writes about her Ojibwe community in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I used to have some land up there. I think I gave it back to the government because they kept sending me tax bills, but we won't get into that. She found her director of the Office of Indian Education at the U.S. Department of Education. Angeline lives in the southwest Michigan now, but her home will always be on Sugar Island. I love Sugar Island. Firekeeper's Daughter is her debut novel. You can follow her on Twitter at FineAngeline. Neato. All right, I'm going to open up to the first couple of pages and see what we got, because this is a new person. Wahpeton. Wahpeton means east in our language, also in the Chippewa. Chapter 1. I start my day before sunrise, throwing on running clothes and laying a pinch of sema at the eastern base of a tree where sunlight will touch the tobacco first. Prayers begin with offering sema and sharing my spirit name, clan, and where I am from. I always add an extra name to make sure the Creator knows who I am, a name that connects me to my father because I began as a secret and then a scandal. I give thanks to the Creator for Zungidewin because I'll need courage for what I'll have to do after my 5-mile run. I've put it off for a week. The sky lightens as I stretch in my driveway. My brother complains about my lengthy warm-up routine whenever he runs with me. I keep telling Levi that my longer, bigger, and therefore vastly superior muscles require more intensive preparation for peak performance. The real reason, which he would think is dorky, is that I recite the correct anatomical name for each muscle I stretch. Not just the superficial muscles, but the deep ones too. I want an edge over the other college freshmen in my human anatomy class this fall. By the time I finish my warm-up and anatomy review, the sun peeks over the trees. One ray of light shines on my sema offering. Nishin, it is good. My first mile is always the hardest. Part of me still wants to be in bed with my cat, Harry, whose purrs are the opposite of an alarm clock. But if I power through, my breathing will find its rhythm, accompanied by the swish of my heavy ponytail. My legs and arms will operate on autopilot. That's when my mind will wander into the zone, where I am part of this world, but also somewhere else, and the miles pass in a semi-alert haze. My route takes me through campus, the prettiest view in Sault Ste. Marie. Some people say Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. is on the other side. I blow a kiss as I run past Lake State's newest dorm, Fontaine Hall, named after my grandfather on my mother's side. My grandmother, Mary, I call her Grand Mary, insisted I wear a dress to the dedication ceremony last summer. I was tempted to scowl in the photos, but knew my defiance would hurt Mom more than it would tick off Grand Mary. I cut through the parking lot behind the Student Union toward the north end of campus. The bluff showcases a gorgeous panoramic view of the Sault Ste. Marie River, the international bridge into Canada, and the city of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Nestled in the bend of the river, east of town is my favorite place in the universe, Sugar Island. I'm going to stop it there. This is pretty cool. This is some areas where I used to hang out a little bit, and I really, really wish I can get another piece of land out there at Sugar Island. Maybe, this tribe, the Sault Ste. Marie Band of Ojibwe Indians, they sent me an application to join their tribe. I'm actually Potawatomi, like I said before, but somehow my ancestors show up on their rolls. I don't get it. All right, enough of that. We got one more book. Yay! Man, I already went for 16 minutes and 25 seconds. We can get this done. By the way, this is the kind of stuff that I do. Reservation. Oh, Sherman Alexie. I was just talking about him. Stuff that I do. I might include passages on discussion forum on e-learning or maybe some future exam. But it's everything you guys know is always open book. Reservation Blues by Sherman Alexie. If you know anything about Alexie, you know that he's a big, tall Spookani. He's from the Spookani tribe, also Coeur d'Alene. I think his one side is Spokane and the other side is Coeur d'Alene. Here's a picture of him. I still remember him like this. This is back before he got a big head in more ways than one. When he was quiet and humble. But I won't go there because I want to remember the good. Reservation Blues, author of Lone Ranger and Tonto, Fist Fight in Heaven. Ooh, it says here it's signed. I don't believe it. It is signed. Oh, goody. I think one reason why it was on sale is because he pissed off a lot of people. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. He made a lot of women angry because once he got famous, he started off poor, as we all do, a lot of us Indian writers, and he got famous. He published one book, and they loved it so much, critical acclaim and all that, and he started making all this money and coming interviews, and he got famous, and he made a movie called Lone Ranger. No, what was the name of that movie? Maybe it was called Reservation Blues or Lone Ranger or Smoke Signals, whatever the movie was. Hey Victor! That movie. That's from Sherman Alexie's, combination of his novels, you see. Victor and Thomas Builds the Fire, the nerdy dude. I could tell you stories about that, but we don't have enough time, you sure? We got to get busy. As I was saying, though, once Alexie got a little famous, he got his head kind of got swollen. Poor dude. I hope he never sees this video. He's gonna kick my behind. But anyway, he got me too'd. Let's just keep it that way. All right, Reservation Blues says Sherman Alexie's stories, Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven, left an indelible mark on the literary world. He started off as a poet, by the way. And he got more and more famous, and the more famous he got, he had a lot of girlfriends, and then he got Me Too'd, and then people started getting rid of his books and putting him on the blacklist or whatever, in the doghouse. But let's keep it positive. This was published in 95. Huh? Well, I remember him we used to hang out in 90. Never mind. Focus. Alright, we're going to go to Reservation Blues, dancing all alone, feeling nothing good. It's been so long since someone understood. All I've seen is why I weep, and all I had for dinner was some sleep. You know I'm lonely, I'm so lonely. My heart is empty and I've been so hungry. All I need for my hunger is to ease anything that you can give me, please. If I ain't got nothing, I heard no good news. I fill my pockets with these reservation blues. Those old res blues, those old reservation blues. If you ain't got choices, what else do you choose? If you ain't got choices, you ain't got much to lose. I wonder if it's supposed to go dun 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 dun. Dancing all alone, dun 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 dun. Feeling nothing good, dun 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 dun. Never mind, I'm not going to start singing too much. Let's read. That was the poem. Now we're going to get into the first page. In the 111 years since the creation of the Spokane Indian Reservation in 1881, not one person, Indian or otherwise, had ever arrived there by accident. Wahpeton, the only town on the reservation, did not exist on most maps. So the black stranger surprised the whole tribe when he appeared with nothing more than the suit he wore and the guitar slung over his back. As Simon drove backward into town, he first noticed the black man standing beside the faded "Welcome to Wahpeton, population variable" sign. Lester Falls Apart slept under that sign and dreamed about the stranger before anyone else had a chance. That black man walked past the Assembly of God Church, the Catholic Church, the cemetery, the Presbyterian Church, and its cemetery. He strolled to the crossroads near the softball diamond, with its solitary grave hidden in the deep center field. The black man leaned his guitar against the stop sign, but stood himself straight and waited. The entire reservation knew about the black man 5 minutes after he showed up at the crossroads. All the Spokanes thought up reasons to leave work or home so they could drive down to look the stranger over. A small man with very dark skin and huge hands. He wore a brown suit that looked good from a distance but grew more ragged, frayed at the cuffs as he came into focus. The black man waved at every Indian that drove by, but nobody had the courage to stop until Thomas Builds the Fire pulled up in his old blue van. "Yahee!" Thomas called out. "Hey," the black man said. "Are you lost?" "Been lost a while, I suppose." "You know where you're at?" "At the crossroad," the black man said, but his words sounded like stones in his mouth and coals in his stomach. "This is the Spokane Indian Reservation," Thomas said. "Indians? I ain't seen many Indians." Thomas parked his van and jumped out. Although the Spokanes were mostly a light-skinned tribe, Thomas tanned to a deep brown, nearly dark as the black man. With his long black hair pulled into braids, he looked like an old-time salmon fisherman. Short, muscular legs for the low center of gravity, long torso and arms for leverage to throw a spear. Just a few days past 32, he carried a slightly protruding belly that he had when he was 8 years old and would still have when he was 80. He wasn't ugly, though, just marked by loneliness. Like some red L was tattooed on his forehead. Indian women had never paid much attention to him because he didn't pretend to be some 20th century warrior, alternating between blind rage and feigned disinterest. He was neither loud nor aggressive, neither calm nor silent. He walked up to the black man and offered his hand, but the stranger kept his hands at his sides, out of view, hidden. I'm careful with my hands, the black man said. He might hear me if I use my hands. Who might hear you? The gentleman. Thomas wanted to know more about the gentleman, but he was too polite and traditional to ask, and refused to offend the black man with personal questions that early in the relationship. Traditional Spokaneans believe in rules of conduct that aren't collected into any book and have been forgotten by most of the tribe. For thousands of years, the Spokaneans feasted, danced, conducted conversations, and courted each other in certain ways. Most Indians don't follow those rules anymore, but Thomas made the attempt. What's your name? The black man asked after a long silence. Thomas builds the fire. That a good name? I don't think so. I don't know. I think so. My name's Johnson, the black man said. Robert Johnson. And I'm going to knock it off there because you might already know who Robert Johnson is. If you don't know, you might want to take a class over there with Du Huawei. That is Harvey DeMars. I gave him a Chinese name, Du Huawei. I'm going to, already went for like 30 minutes. No, 26 minutes and 29 seconds. And the wonderful singing Hegelian bookgasm is gone for now. And we will, what are we now in the resolution phase? I'll cut you guys loose and welcome you to watch my subsequent videos where we discuss various thematic elements of Native literature. Thank you so much for bearing with me in my goofiness. Have an awesome rest of the day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget, there's going to be some stuff on e-learning that says students, it'll say please reply or please respond. Those are required. Usually post 1 or 2 every week. So have a look. All right. Talk to you later.